welcome to my 38th video. Thank you so much for joining me if you are a return subscriber, or hello if you are new. My name's Adrina. I'm an Australian teacher, a Teachers Pay teacher seller, and a mum. So things get a little bit crazy around here. Now, I have been away for a couple of weeks, not that you probably noticed, but I have been doing something kind of super special with my in-laws. So basically, my mother and father-in-law live in England, and they came over to Australia to come visit and meet their grandson, my son, for the first time. So we've just spent 3 weeks with them, and that's why I haven't posted any videos, but we had a really great time. We did a lot of different things, and yeah, it was just awesome. So I've had my little break and I am back, but I'm back to it, going to be filming some more Teachers Pay Teachers clip art videos. I don't want to drag this on any longer, so let's talk about my Teachers Pay Teachers income in March of 2022. So in my last video, I actually spoke about whether I was going to even hit my goal of $120. So if you've been following this channel, you'll know that I've had this goal of trying to hit $120 each month. And some months I have made it, and some months I haven't quite made it. So if you go back to my last video, or if you remember from my last video, if you did watch it, I predicted that the month of March was kind of going to be a little bit slower and that I wasn't going to actually hit 120. So you're going to find out here if my prediction was correct or if I was wrong. So let's get into the analytics. Let's go. Okay guys, so I'm excited to be back sharing my income report. As I mentioned in the intro of the video, I have had my in-laws up from the UK visiting, so this video is a little bit later than expected. So today is Monday, the 11th of April. So realistically, I should have done this a little while ago, just at the beginning of April. So these the data on here is a little bit skewed only because there's been a little bit through April here as well. But I'm just going to show you from my last income report on this YouTube tab here, so you can kind of see and compare my growth over the month and a bit that from when I filmed my last income report, which was February. So from my February income report, so from last income report, I was sitting at 228 followers. I was sitting at 111 votes, so people leaving reviews on either free or paid products, and I had a total of 128 products on my store. Now, looking at where we are now currently, so we've gone from 228 followers to 266 followers, so that is an increase of 38. I went from 111 votes of people leaving reviews to now 130 votes. So that is an increase of 19 people leaving a review. And I have gone from 128 products to 137 products. So that is an increase of 9 products over that month and a little bit. It's not been a month and a half quite yet, but month and a bit. One thing that I noticed here, so my 5-star rating went down to 4.9, and I think that was because I actually got a review or a vote on a free product, mind you, and I think they left a 3-star vote. I don't get too caught up on the votes, to be completely honest. You know, everyone has their understanding of the voting system. I know a lot of different people have their different ideas about the voting system. And I'm really happy with 4.9. I don't expect it to be 5. I know that some people, they will see the system differently. So even if it was an amazing product, someone might still say that was 4 stars because, there's always room for improvement. Do you know what I mean? So I don't get too caught up about this. I mean, as long as I'm over like 3 stars, for me at least personally, I think that's good. And so to be at 4.9, I'm really proud of that. And, I'm not going to get too caught up about the whole star thing. So yeah, and as I know it can be controversial. I know certain people have certain things, but I also know that people view this rating system in a different way than other people, and it does depend on context and from where you are as well around the world. So anyway, I do want to talk about things that happened before I go into my analytics of money. It won't be long. I just want to have a very quick, brief discussion. So this month, obviously I had my family from the UK come up, and they met my son for the first time. They had never met him. He was 17 months, I think, at the time that they actually first got to meet him, due to the C word that we won't speak about. You know what I'm talking about, but because obviously people couldn't travel and whatever else, and so going from the UK to Australia, like my in-laws, my mother and father-in-law would have come over earlier if it wasn't for the C word, but you know, they couldn't. But now it was just so nice of them to be able to make it and finally meet their grandson, which was lovely. So we had a good time. We went and we traveled around, and that was really awesome. Went to Brisbane, Gold Coast, Tangcam Bay, Rainbow Beach. We went to a lot of different places. Yeah, so I'm on the east coast of Australia, and yeah, it was just really nice. And one thing I had to sort out too, and I did this at the beginning of March, I think it was I had to sort out Hyperwallet too. So if you are in the TPT world and you do have a TPT store, you'll know that we're transitioning from PayPal to what's called Hyperwallet. And it's like a payment system, which is still, from what I understand, is owned by PayPal, but it's just like a different system. So it allows actually direct deposit, which is really good in a way, because we don't have to now go from PayPal and transfer money to your bank account. It goes straight into your bank account, just like an actual employer would pay you. So that's really cool. I love that. Because my hyper wallet for Tealazzo, when I set it up, there was something that I had to fix up on it, and I got a bit confused. So I was able to fix that up, and my last payment went in smoothly. So that was good. So now I've got both my first store, the Creative Table, and now Tealazzo Clipart going into my business bank. So that's good. So they've been smooth, they've been good. I haven't had any other issues besides that form that I had to kind of refill out on Tealazzo. And so that's sorted now, from what I believe, and that is good. So I've just quickly show you down through kind of what I have got going on in my store at the moment. I'm still sort of struggling a little bit with trying to be, you might have watched my video months ago with my clip art of the clip art people that I wanted to have a kind of branding around, or consistent with that style of clip art. And as you can see, if you look through my store, I do not have those people. I'll show you the people I'm talking about. Hold on. I know they're in Christmas clip art. So if you watch that video, I'll link it in above here somewhere, so you can kind of see what video I'm talking about. But basically, I started creating these little clip art characters, which I think are super cute. And I really wanted to kind of continue on with these clip art characters. I do like them. I really think they're cute, and I want to continue on. But the only thing is, what I'm struggling with right now with the whole clip art thing is the fact that it takes quite a lot of time to get these. And I know this is obviously first world problems, you guys, but I just want to express my feelings here about this. But it takes a lot longer to be able to create these sort of packs than it does to create, say, a digital paper, for example. And when I am low on time, let's go back to my store. When I'm low on time as a mum, it's been really hard. I've been able to create things like this in a much more time efficient way than my people. So I do want to continue on with my clip art people, and I want to do more sets of those, so I am known for a particular style of people clip art. But for now, I've kind of really just gone back almost to the whole boho kind of muted colors and doing digital paper, because that's what I've been able to kind of do in the time blocks that I've been able to work. So at the moment, as you know, I am having a bit of time off teaching, as you might have watched in my 2022 plan. In my 2022 plans, I did mention about Outschool, but I'm not going to be doing that right away. I want to kind of really focus a bit more time first before I even think about doing that now into my TPT businesses, just to see what I can do with that. Without further ado, let's have a look to see whether I made $120 for the month of March 2022. In my last video, my last income report, I did predict that I wasn't going to make $120, and to be honest, I think I even predicted that I was going to earn less than what I earned last month. So last month I earned $91.91, and this month I'm going to show you in a moment what I earned. Dashboard. So this is not March, but so far I'm having a good start to the month of April, but let's change it to custom range, and let's go to March 1st to March 31st, apply. In the month of March, I earned $79.60. So I didn't make my $120 budget, but you know, I am still grateful and I'm still happy that I earned some money, and especially over $50. So that's still an achievement to me. Of course, it's not my goal, but that just makes me want to continue to strive to get better and to release more things to see if I can up my income. One thing I will say though, what sort of happened throughout this month was I watched someone's video, I'm pretty sure it was Becca's video about the month of March, and I can't remember what video, but I'm pretty sure she mentioned that if your sales go down in March, that don't be too worried, because a lot of people over in America have Easter break. So I don't know exactly when your Easter breaks are if you are from America. We do have an Easter break here in Australia, but it's sort of different. Our whole months of the year system is just completely different to yours in America. So I remember Becca, I'm pretty sure it was Becca saying that if your month of March goes down in sales, it is because a lot of teachers are having a bit of time off there. And from what I believe, it could even have been around this area. If you are from America and you know the month, or not the month, so if you know the date of when you kind of had your break, let me know if this matches up at all. Because it was really interesting to see flatlined and then it just kind of went up. And I don't think there was a sale at all. I don't remember having any sales in the month of March. So that was interesting. So I just want to show you real quick. So 360, 0, 0, 0, had a few flatline days. And you'll notice from what I'm starting to collect data on is the weekends, I don't sell a lot on the weekends. It's only really school days that I sell things. So it's interesting. But yeah, you can just kind of see it's a couple dollars here and there, and then no dollars, and then a few more dollars. And then we had a bit of a jump. Hello. Wow, okay, and then another little jump, which was cool, and then went down, and then kind of zero, and then back up on the last day of March. So one thing, that was really cool, because I had my family over, one thing I'm still proud of is when you are on holidays, or when you are, like what was happening with me, when I was traveling around, with the in-laws, I was still making sales, which was awesome, because to be able to be exploring the Gold Coast and, you've got a sale, you've earned money while you're out. So that's kind of cool. That was, I've known that for a little while, obviously, because I have my first store, but it's still nice. The novelty doesn't really go away, I don't think, of that in some cases, at least not for me now. And I've got 2 stores and I still enjoy seeing that. This is what I've made in selling my clip art. This is just my clip art store. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see kind of what I do make this month, so April now, because we're obviously, like I said, we're 11th of April now, but by the end of this month to see sort of where we're standing, how April was. So now that I've showed you my earnings, I didn't make my goal, but that's okay. I want to show you conversions. Again, interesting that these have conversions per day. This is really interesting because I don't know if I've ever really even looked at that. So yeah, I need to get a little bit better at learning about the conversion rates, but for now I'm not in a mindset to really be doing a lot of digging into this, only because I've got a lot on my plate at the moment as a mum, and just with a lot of other things in general at the moment. So in the future, I plan to do a bit more investigating to see how I can increase my conversion rate, if it's looking at 2%, because I know that probably a bit higher would be more ideal. But again, like conversion rates can be so depending on the actual product. There's so many different things to consider with conversion rates that just because it's lower doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It does depend if it's a bundle and all that kind of stuff. Like I still need to learn about. Let's have a look at views. So I had 927 views in the month of March, and I had 22 units sold. That's interesting. And I don't have any of these. So I'm going to just track this. So here is my Excel sheet that I've been using to track this. I use this in every single income report. So as you can see, I started off in May last year of 2021 at $570. We've gone to June, $480. July, we'll come to $90.05 and $90.05. Then August hit me by surprise and I earned $313.70. September was $82.32, so went down a little. Then we went down again in October, $72.57. November went down $68.48. December, so just really slowly started to decrease. It went a bit higher up in January. February was going down, and now March we're seeing a little trend here going down as well. So dollars there. So let's plug this in. So it was $79.60. And let's just put that there. Just for anyone wondering, I've explained this in my last video, but just in case you're watching this for the first time, I just put this if I make, it's not bad, obviously, if I don't achieve my goal, and I don't see it that way. I really don't. I just put this to see whether I've met my budget or not. Like if I don't, it's totally fine. I don't get upset about it. I don't get, angry or like give myself a hard time, not at all. This is really just to see data, just to kind of see over the years kind of my growth really, and where it dipped and when it heightened, and just what things I was doing. In some ways I'm kind of like viewing this as, I don't want to say an experiment, but it is kind of not experimental, but it's like a project in a way, so I'm kind of just analyzing it from an outer perspective to see kind of what's going on here in the business and like what's happening and whether I am meeting a budget or not. And yeah, these things you can't control. Like I've controlled how much I've made as a budget, but I can't control how much I sell it to a certain degree. Obviously, especially at the moment, I don't have an email list of like anyone. You already should, if you've been watching any of my other videos, let's go to traffic. Traffic, let's have a look. Okay, so, this is really interesting. This has never happened or come up before. Alrighty, so I don't know what this is. TPT Core Marketplace. I have no idea what this is, but apparently I've earned $2.40 from whatever this was. Okay, super interesting. So, and also, what the heck? TPT emails. I earned $3.60. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay. So I wonder if that was from my note to followers. All right, this is changing the game. All right, sorry, I haven't looked at this, so this is really sort of interesting to me. So first one, obviously, as you can see, I earned $73.60 from Teachers Pay Teachers, all organic traffic. I don't have a Pinterest, I don't have a blog, I don't have, Instagram, I have nothing. I have literally, this is my store, and the only thing that I have probably done is the TPT to followers, and that hasn't even been consistent. I've sent about, I don't even know how many, like I could count on one hand of how many TPT emails I have sent, and I don't do them every week either. So that's really interesting. I wonder if that $2.40 is from that. So anyway, it's interesting to see that there are other people coming over from different spots now. And I don't know what all of this is all about, but I guess someone was exploring that and they've somehow managed to get to my store. So that's really interesting. So I just want to obviously show you that traffic because, like I was saying here, all of these earnings are just organic traffic from Teachers Pay Teachers. So Teachers Pay Teachers as the search engine, that is the only thing that I have going for me to have earned these sales. So I do not have any of the things. I'm not saying that's a good thing, because it's not necessarily a good thing at all. To have a marketing platform is a good idea. Just at this point in time, I don't have the space or the time, having a young child, to be able to do that right now with all the other stuff I've got going on. But it is really nice to kind of see now, and this is the thing too, even though it doesn't show here, it doesn't necessarily, like I mentioned in my last video, so 70 people have come over from YouTube. So hello you guys, I can see that you guys are coming, and whether if that's just to even look at the store, whether you have no interest in buying anything, that is totally fine, because I know what it's like when you're like just trying to find information, trying to learn about your own store. You're just kind of like not nosy, but like interested to see what other people are kind of doing. So I understand that as to why people might just be clicking to see kind of what I got going on at Tealazzo at the moment. And for those people that are coming over, it doesn't necessarily mean that you wouldn't have bought anything either. Like maybe you saw my store and maybe in the future or even like down the track you might have purchased something, but it just might not be coming up here. So that's just one thing I never considered, and I didn't think about that. So that conversion here might not necessarily be quite correct. But the fact that people are coming over even to just check it out, like that's something that's like interesting. So hello to you guys and welcome to looking at my store. And so, yeah, that's basically that. Now, I will briefly touch on my creative table store because, as you know, I have 2 stores. This store is really linked to my channel, so I'm really honed in on this store predominantly, but I do like to share my other earnings from my other store, because I think it's interesting, because it might even help someone decide whether they want to do 2 stores or whether they want to have like clip art in their resource store, or whether they even want to just have like a resource store over a clip art store, whatever. But I think it's important to share that kind of data. But yeah, you can see that kind of here. So one thing I just want to quickly say before we move on to show you my earnings for the creative table is, so it's taken me 11 months to earn $1,028.22. So 11 months to earn that amount of money selling clip art. So that's kind of just, if that helps putting into perspective. And I can actually color that in on my free milestone tracker, which I will do. And I might insert me just doing a little video of me coloring that in now. And if you did want to get that download, it is free in my actual Tealazzo Clip Art store. But yeah, I'll put this little video here of me coloring my $1,000, I've made it to $1,000 milestone. So that's awesome, really cool. But yeah, basically it's taken me 11 months to get this amount of money and traction. So as you can see, it is, it's been a journey, and, for some people that might be like, oh, wow, you've done that in a year. And some people might be like, oh, like that's literally like what I earned in 2 months. So it really depends on niche. It really depends on what you're selling, all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I just think it's really important to kind of be transparent, because in some ways, like, I don't think there's anyone else sharing about clip art in particular of how much they've earned over a year period. I'm not quite at a year yet, and I will obviously share my income report over a year. And I don't know if these, my data is average. I don't know my data is like high or low. I have no idea. But what I do know is I'm here to share it and here to take you on the same journey that I'm on, to kind of just track it and see the growth with it all. Because I think when you can see someone kind of like making progress, it can also motivate and inspire you as well to be, and put things into perspective. If you have one and, you're earning way more than I am, then you're like, oh, well, then you're doing good. And that's good to know, especially like if you're in the clip art scene. For me, like, the reason really why I'm sharing all of this is because, when you have these questions starting out a clip art store, you don't know the potential. And if someone's giving you a baseline of like, oh, this person has earned this much, you know that it's a possibility. Whether you earn less or more is going to be up to you and what you're providing to the marketplace. But it's at least good to see a baseline of kind of at least someone doing it and knowing that it, people can sell their clip art or whatever. So, and it can be a thing, you know what I mean? So hopefully that's kind of helpful. I will now show you my creative table, analytics. I don't go too much into detail with that because obviously that's my first store and it's been open longer, but I just want to show you, and then we'll price them up how much I earned in total for the month of March. So let's just log out of this. So this is my clip art store for anyone looking, and I sell completely different things, but I use my clip art also in my products. And yeah, I don't focus too much on this on my channel, but basically that is that for the earnings for this particular store. So let's price that up. I'm not going to go into too detail of this time, only because this video is getting pretty long. But if I price up the total amount, so alright, so let's just price this up. I'm sorry, I'm not doing mental math today. And so for both stores, so $289.73, add $79.60, comes to a total of $369.33 between both stores. Now this is US dollar, you guys, so let's go USD to AUD. Now obviously be mindful, exchange rates change all the time. This is just a brief understanding of what the potential of it is for that amount of US dollars. So we've got $369.33. So I would come out, given off the exchange rate, about $495.89. So that's a little lower than my last month, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it's just kind of, it's close to 500, not quite, but yeah, it's kind of good to know. And it does depend on the exchange rate as well. So at the moment, $1 US is 134, but it also depends on the bank and how much they consider for the exchange rates as well. So bringing it back to my store here, that is pretty much how much I earned in the month of March 2022. So my 11th month of business, I think it was. And yeah, not quite 120, but still happy and proud that I earned any money on it at all. Okay, so if you've made it to the end, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this income report. I hope that it's provided you with some value, or just like a bit of an insight into what a clip artist is sort of making on Teachers Pay Teachers. Like I was saying in the video, it just provides you maybe with a bit of a baseline to kind of look at this and say, oh, is it worth doing it for you? Or, you know, just to kind of see the progression of things over time. So in saying that, I want to say very quickly, thank you to the people that have actually commented on my community tab. If you don't know about my community tab, feel free to check it frequently, because I do post like polls and things on there and things about my life. Like when I posted that I was having 3 weeks off, some of you that are subscribed might have seen that, but some of you that aren't subscribed might not have. So if you are wanting to keep up to date to kind of see where I'm at with certain things, or if you want to like vote on any of my polls or anything like that, then feel free to subscribe to this channel. I'd love to have you. And also, if you do have any questions, I do have a running part in my community tab, which I'll actually show you in this little video part here. So this particular poll area is where, if you have a question for me, I had someone reach out not too long ago, basically say, where else can I contact you for questions or anything like that. Like I said, I don't have any social medias besides this YouTube channel really at this point. In the future, I do plan on having like an Instagram and stuff like that. But right now, there's too much on my plate, so I'm just going to try and focus on YouTube and my stores. And so if you do have a particular question that you'd like to ask, then feel free to just leave it in one of the comments down below, or feel free to use my community tab, because I do read that frequently, and it's good to just have an ongoing running post. Even if you don't have a question now, in the future, just go to my community tab, scroll down to that particular post that I'm showing you, and literally just write a question and I'll see it. So thank you once again. I appreciate your time. So now that I'm back, the videos will be coming, and I will see you in my next video. Adios!